Nickelback's radio-friendly brand of rock was absolutely everywhere in the 2000s, so how did they become the preferred punching bag for the music industry? Here are just a few of their most famous haters. The indie rock duo The Black Keys features Dan Auerbach on guitar and vocals and Patrick Carney on drums. The Keys play the kind of blues-inflected old-school rock that's not often heard on commercial radio, and while they've made a name for themselves, it's nothing compared to the scale of what Nickelback has achieved. In 2012, Rolling Stone asked Carney about the state of rock music, and he didn't hold back, saying, "Rock and roll is dying because people became okay with Nickelback being the biggest band in the world, so they became okay with the idea that the biggest rock band in the world is always going to be Therefore, you should never try to be the biggest rock band in the world." Carney got specific, calling Nickelback's music watered-down post-grunge crap, horrendous. It's no surprise, then, that Carney gets offended when the Black Keys music is lumped in with the Nickelbacks of the world. Did Nickelback respond in anger to Carney's comments about them? Not at all. Instead, the band posted a cheeky message to X, writing, "Thanks to the drummer in the Black Keys calling us the biggest band in the world and Rolling Stone, hee hee." Nickelback and Slipknot were signed to the same label, Roadrunner Records. Roadrunner was a heavy metal label, repping artists like Machine Head, Typo Negative, and of course Slipknot, so Nickelback always felt like an outlier.
Joining a metal label was definitely strange.
Former Roadrunner exec Monty Connor admitted that there were feelings about Nickelback's addition to the roster.
Slipknot were the top dogs at the label when Nickelback hit. I don't think Slipknot loved the fact that Nickelback came in.
There are definite bad vibes between Nickelback's Chad Kroeger and Slipknot's Corey Taylor, that's for sure. Appearing on the Metal Covenant podcast, Kroeger criticized Taylor for talking trash about him and the band in the past and saying it's simple to write a hit song.
Well, show me. Show me. Write one. I've yet to hear one.
Once he got going, Kroeger had more to say on the subject, asking, "How good can your music be if you gotta beat each other up on stage, throw up in your own masks every night? I mean, music shouldn't come with a gimmick. Music should just be music." Speaking to 98 KUPD, Taylor begged to differ.
I've never said it was easy to write a hit song.
Well,
I don't know what the hell planet he's living on. Apparently, it's Planet Kroeger.
He then fired back, saying, "I've been voted sexiest dude in rock wearing a mask. You've been voted ugliest dude in rock twice, without one." Years later, Taylor threw a backhanded compliment at Nickelback, saying they'd been eclipsed as the most hated band alive by Imagine Dragons. Back in 2011, very few people's bingo card included Nickelback beefing with Australian baseball player Peter Moylan on social media. It started after Moylan attended a Foo Fighters gig and decided to let Nickelback know all about it on X. Tagging the band, the former MLB star wrote, "Note to Nickelback, please attend a Foo Fighters concert. That's how it should be done. Chad." Nickelback didn't disagree, but couldn't help but fire a fastball at Moylan, replying, "Foos are killer for sure. We're doing just fine too, thanks. For you, Pete, is watching Kimmel better from the bench or on TV?"
We try and laugh it off. You can laugh off about 90% of it, and some of it hurts.
A few days later, Nickelback attempted to squash the beef, saying it was all in good fun. But while Moylan appeared to accept the truce, it didn't recant or call Nickelback the ultimate gods of rock, so is the beef really over? Blake Shelton has been in the music industry for over a quarter of a century and has seen his share of ups and downs. He knows how the game works. So one would expect him to sympathize with Nickelback, whose popularity has been weaponized against them. Not so, however. Speaking to People magazine in 2022, Shelton described how his driver told him he was mentioned on the Peacemaker television show, recounting, he goes, "Well, John Cena and this other character get in an argument about how dorky each other are, and she's making the point that John Cena's so white that she starts comparing him to people, and you're the first one. She says, 'You're just a Blake Shelton.' I was like, oh my god, I'm the new Nickelback." Shelton's history with Nickelback goes back quite a few years. For ages, there was a rumor that his ex-wife Miranda Lambert punched Chad Kroeger at a party. Shelton all but confirmed the incident to Rolling Stone, stating, "People always try to pop off or call her bluff at bars. One of them, I don't want to say the guy's name, but he's the lead singer of a very popular rock band. His initials are CK." Jimmy Kimmel's had Nickelback perform live on his show, and they even participated in the Mean Tweets segment.
"I would rather stab myself in the taint than hear another Nickelback song." That's funny. That's how we make Nickelback songs.
So there shouldn't be any real drama here, right? Wrong. In 2022, Kimmel brought the band up in a political segment.
Nobody likes Ted Cruz, and yet somehow he's still out there doing his thing. He's like the senator version of Nickelback. It's inexplicable.
Kroeger may not be crazy about Kimmel either. In an appearance on Kevin Pollak's Chat Show, Bobcat Goldthwait described directing an episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live featuring Nickelback. According to him, the band's manager asked him not to shoot Kroger from the side.
I go, why? He goes, because he's got a big nose.
Maybe if he'd said nothing, it would have been okay, but Goldthwait couldn't help himself.
I said to the assistant director, tell me when I got 10 seconds. She goes, 10 seconds. I go, shoot the nose. And 7 cameras snap zoom in on this guy's nose.
In 2016, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg posted a promotional video for an AI system called Jarvis, voiced by actor Morgan Freeman. Zuckerberg demonstrated how Jarvis works around the home.
Hey, play us some good Nickelback songs.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm afraid I can't do that. There are no good Nickelback songs.
A proud Zuckerberg looks back at the camera and says it was a test and Jarvis just passed. Zuckerberg's attempt at humor didn't sit well with singer Avril Lavigne, Kroger's ex-wife. She took to her ex account to send him a message, writing, "Many people use your products. Some people love them and some people don't. Either way, you're allowed your musical opinion. However, your jab at Nickelback is in poor taste." She added the pointed hashtags, "Say no to bullying," "The joke is old," and "Nickelback has sold over 50 million albums." The origins of the Nickelback hate can be traced back to a joke made by comedian Brian Posehn during an episode of Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn in the early 2000s.
No one talks about the studies that show that bad music makes people violent. Like Nickelback makes me want to kill Nickelback.
Nobody could have predicted the ripple effect this one joke would have. All of a sudden, it was cool to dunk on the Canadian rockers. Appearing on KFC Radio in 2022, Kroger addressed the matter, saying, "Some comedian, I'm gonna have to go find the guy's name so I can go bomb his house. This guy makes this crack about us, and he's on Comedy Central." They took that, they put it in a commercial for that one show, and that played on Comedy Central for 6 months straight. This Nickelback joke. That starts this whole thing going. Daniel Adair added how many of their peers admitted they hated them irrationally, just because it was the cool thing to do, and actually started to like them once they met in person. British rock duo Royal Blood, consisting of multi-instrumentalist and vocalist Mike Kerr and drummer Ben Thatcher, posted a message on X in October 2016 regarding their view of the American election candidates Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. The post read, "Donald Trump plus Hillary Clinton equals Nickelback." The tweet didn't endear the band to either Democrats or Republicans, and fans blasted them for their attempt at humor, adding that Nickelback is a Canadian band, so they should have substituted them with someone like Creed, another one of the most hated bands in music. Nickelback saw the message and didn't take long to reply, writing, "Nickelback jokes are like Royal Blood. They were a lot cooler a couple years ago. Don't drink and tweet, fellas. Stay safe. XO." They added a Canadian flag emoji for good measure. Rock and roll and wrestling are a match made in heaven, and from 2009 to 2012, Nickelback's track Burn It to the Ground was the official theme song of WWE Raw. At the time, one of the WWE's biggest stars was CM Punk, who featured prominently in the various montages accompanied by Nickelback over the years. But that doesn't mean he liked it. In 2015, Punk stirred up one of the internet's most committed fan bases with a spicy post on X, writing, "Troll game strong with anyone who says Phantom Menace is a good movie." A user hit back immediately, telling him to look at the film's sales figures as confirmation of its quality. Punk didn't mince his words with his response, writing, "Nickelback sells albums, don't make them good. Get out of here with that. Millions of people on Earth are dumb." Apparently, Nickelback didn't care enough to comment.